Today I will be giving my 2023 to 2024 Charlotte Hornets player grades.
Let me take you to a place where we never can be found. On the edge of Carolina where the sun come out the ground. No nobody, just nobody, only broken hearts allowed. Right outside of Savannah, about an hour from the town.
Hello everyone, it's Everything Buzzity here, back again with another video. Hey guys, before we get into the video, I just wanted to talk about this guy real quick. Steve NBA, I believe. This is the guy I got this idea from. I kind of wanted to do this a long time ago, but I saw his video and really liked it. As you can tell, he made this 3 months ago, has over 700 views. This is it's like a small Charlotte Hornets creator. So I really liked his content. Really good thumbnails, as you can tell. So go ahead and shoot him a subscribe and go watch his videos. He has so just go follow your boy over there, Steve NBA. Thanks. And today we will be running through the Charlotte Hornets 23 to 24 season and giving every single player who played on our team a player grade with a quick description of why I gave them that grade. So without further ado, let's get into it. But before I do that, please leave a like on the video. Please leave a comment throughout the video as you watch it, or leave your thoughts at the end about how I did. Maybe some things I got wrong, maybe some things you agree with, some slight changes, some general opinions of how some players played during the season. And subscribe if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to bring out more in the coming weeks. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop into this. I wanted to start off with Amari Bailey. Amari Bailey struggled to find really any playing time during the season, only playing around 10 games this year. Has a lack of a jump shot. Pretty good playmaker, I think. I did watch a couple of his G League games. There is components of an NBA player in there. It's just when you shoot 23% from 3 in the G League, it's going to be very hard to find minutes as a point guard, right? And I think that's something he's going to have to really focus on to be able to stay in the league and maybe get an opportunity somewhere. It's going to be hard. I do think he's going to spend some time in the G League or overseas. Next up, we have Davis Bertans. I give Davis Bertans a B-. Now, I gave him a B- because I felt like after the trade, he came in and played pretty well, in my opinion. Had a couple of big-time shots down the stretch of games, especially when we started giving him more minutes. But don't ask him to do anything else than shoot. I mean, I think defensively there was times like trying to take a charge, things like that. But outside of that, Davis really doesn't provide a lot. And obviously with his contract, the Hornets had to release him, and hopefully he can find a spot somewhere on a vet minimum. I think that right now that's his perfect role, end of the bench guy, or he might just think about going back home and finishing out his career. He's had a pretty good career, in my opinion. Leaky Black, I gave him a C-. I felt like he has good potential. He showed flashes of that, but it was he wasn't able to really fill up the stat sheet. He's not really a stat stuffer. Really, it's defense. It's things that can't be found in a box score. Like, yeah, you can get stats, plus, minus, stuff like that. But a lot of defense is outside of regular box score numbers, and that's really what he did. But one thing, the biggest issue is his three-point shot. He's not really a three-point shooter. He's more of an athletic wing, but he is a little bit older, so he's going to have to focus on getting that. This is the last year of his two-way deal. Hopefully, Leaky can take some steps forward in that aspect of his game. Marquise Bolden, I gave him a D. All around, just didn't feel like he was good. Slow player. Didn't really see that stretch big ability that he showed with the Bucks in the preseason and during the G League season. But he had a couple decent rebound games, and especially against Cleveland, I think, in the last game of the season. So hopefully Bolden can go and contribute somewhere else. James Bouknight, F, just an F. He was basically at the end of the bench. We would bring him in for like the last 2 minutes, 5 minutes. So this year really wasn't a good representation of Bouknight. Okay, maybe he gets a shot somewhere else, but all around, James just, at the end of the day, and we're going to get into this further, the 2021 class was really bad all around. None of those guys are still on the roster after this season. And people blame it on the coaching staff, and I get that, but let's not act like James Bouknight was not given an opportunity to succeed, and he wasn't able to capitalize. Now, I think he has more than enough talent to be a success. I think number one, it's decision making on the court. There's a lot of situations where he has the athleticism to attack, like to get to the rim, to be a driver, kicker, finish inside. That's really what he did at UConn so good. He was really good at ISO attacking. He could shoot, right? He could do other things, but that was the main proponent. Like, he was a really good attacker of the rim, and there's been multiple times where Bouknight has an open lane and just stops and shoots a deep three. I don't know what it is. Just not good decision making. And he doesn't really provide much defensively either. And I think it's more off of the court. I think he's fighting some things. Challenged young man. Hopefully he gets that worked out, and maybe he can find somewhere. I feel like the Clippers are a team that likes sticking shots on guys at the end of the bench. Maybe the Suns, a team that doesn't really have cap space to go for like a veteran player. But hopefully he gets picked up for one of the bad teams and gets an opportunity. But he'll probably be overseas or the G League pretty soon. Seth Curry. Seth, not Steph. I said Seth. Seth Curry, C- for me. I feel like he played well. Showed me that he was more than just a three-point shooter. He could attack the rim, could finish in the mid-range. A little bit of passing ability, but he just didn't play a lot. He got hurt, and that's why it's a C-. It probably would be a little bit higher if he did end up playing a couple more games. Gordon Hayward, F. Failure. Injured again, no surprise. He's just old, and we traded him, and it was an absolute steal of a trade for Gordon Hayward. But yeah, he is an F. Teo Maledon, F. Try to play him as a shooting guard when he is a point guard, and he's never been a good shooter, and we try to have him as a shooter. Not the role for Teo. Had a better season last year for sure, but he is an F. Trey Mann, B+. I feel like Trey Mann played really good. Really, really good. He fills up that stat sheet. Rebounds, points, assists. He's a pass-first guard, but he can also score, like from outside. He can attack the rim. He can do multiple things, and I think he's probably one of the best guard rebounders. We don't have a lot of rebounders like him at the guard spot that are scrappy like he is, so I really like Trey after the trade deadline. Cody Martin, I give him a D. Had some moments. I feel like his playmaking was a huge surprise for me. I did not know he had the ability to run pick and roll sets. So, and I feel like, and he had like a couple 8 assists, 10 assist games, but the reason why it's so low, 3-point shooting has gone down. I think his defense isn't as good coming off of that injury, and I don't know if I said this, but his shooting was really bad, right? And he didn't play. That's the most important thing. He only played like 20 games this year. Okay, so that's a D. Bryce McGowan's, I give that a D+. It was basically his basically just like his rookie year, in my opinion. Didn't really provide much. The shooting, I thought, was what he really needed to work on, and it stayed the same. And he was very hesitant, like JT Thor. Like when they get the ball, hesitant to really do anything with the ball. And even when you feed them in the corner, they're scared to shoot. Like against Boston, when we won that game, go back and watch that second, third quarter. They were sagging off of Bryce. They were begging Bryce to shoot. Wide open. As a wing, that cannot happen, bro. You cannot let that happen. So he had a struggle of a season. Played good in the summer league this year. Is on the Portland Trailblazers. We'll see what he's able to do in Portland. Frank Ntilikina, F. Barely played. Horrible signing. Terrible. Not much to say. It's Frank Ntilikina. All right. F. JT Thor, D. Yeah, a D. Well, I feel like JT had flashes. The perfect example of what 2021 draft was. It was a bunch of potential selections, but that potential was never realized, right? In theory, JT Thor is a 6'9", small forward / power forward who can defend and shoot threes, and he's a super athlete. Well, the problem is, when that doesn't develop, you just have a player who's okay at everything, but isn't good at anything, right? And you have to have a specialty in the NBA to be a role player, in my opinion. And he just doesn't have that, and that's why he's not on the team anymore. But he is having a really good Olympic run. I did see that shot, JT. 20 seconds left against USA. That's what I'm talking about, man. Pokusevski. Okay, Pokusevski. I give him a C. He was a good stretch big, man. At times he can shoot the three. His shots are really inconsistent. That's his problem. If he can get those numbers up a little more, he's gonna be a good young player to develop. But I do think he's going overseas, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he's going overseas, or he's talking to his home country about going over there. But he showed good effort on both sides of the ball. Can play the power forward, the center spot. Really could do a bunch of everything for me. So I thought he played well. Vasa Micic, I give him a B. I absolutely love Vasa. Absolutely love him. I think he's a really good playmaker. Those first couple games were really, really good. And then he had a stretch where he started going crazy. And hopefully he can get his legs under him and start to be able to be more of a mid-range jump shooter. You don't have to be a specific three-point shooter, but I feel like he had a good season. So I give him a B. Terry Rozier, I give him a B-, but I can honestly see where you go from the perspective of what he played during the Hornets. I drop it down because he did end up getting traded. All right, he was carrying that offense. So I would probably go maybe a B+, but I'm gonna stick with a B- because he did get traded, and just after he got traded, wasn't really playing at that level anymore, and really shows the issue with this team. And maybe those stats were a little bit misleading, but he was balling. You cannot take it away from him. He was absolutely hooping for a good while there. He had a couple games where he legit just won it for us. But Terry had an up and down run here in Charlotte, but it comes to an end, and I think hopefully Heat start struggling and we can get something for that 2027 pick. PJ Washington, give him a C+. Not only he got traded, but defensively the effort was not there. He was in the 30s in three-point shooting, one of the worst corner three-point shooters this season. Every single year he was in Charlotte, his three-point shooting percentage went down every single season in Charlotte. So I give him a C+. Really great role player in the right system, but we were never able to really give him a defined role. Grant Williams, A-, man. Came in, wasn't too big. Well, actually, I was kind of indifferent on him. Didn't really hate Grant, but for some reason he has a bunch of hate around the league. But he was showing off his playmaking. He was showing off his ability to score inside. Really good post playmaker. He was making some post playmaking plays. Looking like Paul Millsap, Al Horford, guys like that with the Hawks. Al Horford with the Hawks. 3-point shooting, he shot like 40% from 3 with Charlotte, which is a really big improvement from what he shot with Dallas. So really interested to see what he's able to do coming off of the bench. Provides really good depth at that 3-4 spot. Nathan Mensah, F, does nothing. Okay, that is not an NBA player. He probably will never be an NBA player. It was bad. He's bad. Nick Richards, I give him a B. To be able to step into a starting role like he had to do and perform well considering the circumstances and be generally healthy his whole time here in Charlotte, I think he had a good season. Just all around good season. I think like 8-6, 8-7, something like that. But had some really good games down the stretch here in Charlotte, like double-doubles, 14 points, 12 rebounds, stuff like that. So thought he played well. Ish Smith, I give him a D. He came out of retirement. He's living in North Carolina, so he's like, hey, why not? But Ish Smith is not NBA caliber anymore, okay? Kind of reminds me of what we did with Taj Gibson. Hopefully Taj doesn't have to play this, but like Ish had to this year. Nick Smith Jr., I give him a C-, just because he did fall out of the rotation and there was down the stretch where he just could not hit a 3, but this is a 42% 3-point shooter as a rookie. One of the top 3-point shooters in the league when you look at statistics. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do. I've made a video saying he's gonna come in year 2. I think he's a Charles Lee guy. I think Charles sees a lot in him, and I'm interested to see how he carves up a spot in this heavy guard rotation. Miles Bridges, I give him a B. He was healthy all year. The issue really is, I feel like scoring-wise, while he did improve, he took a step back in terms of impact on the offensive end. Not much, lost a bit of athleticism. 3-point shooting, he would settle for 3-point shots. He was a top 5 worst mid-range shooter in the league. So hopefully Miles will be able to play better. He had some good games, 40-point games and stuff like that, but he wasn't all-star Miles Bridges caliber. So hope we just give him a bag, so hopefully he can play okay. I think LaMelo Ball really helps him though, so that's something to look at. Brandon Miller. This might be a little crazy, but I'm going A+, man. I feel like considering that you're a rookie and how he played, how he elevated himself throughout the season, not only on the court, but also as a leader. We've all seen the videos of him yelling at PJ, really getting a little bit delusional. We're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I love it. Be delusional. That's what I need. I hope we do make the playoffs. But as a rookie, I feel like this was the best he could do, and that's why I give him an A+. 17 points per game, 18 points per game. As a rookie, and really having nothing, it was just him and Miles, and a rookie taking that, having that situation, and not letting that hold him back, or actually growing and becoming like a really freaking good player, probably one of the top young players to watch over the next few seasons. Bravo, Brandon Miller. Bravo, all around, A+. Mark Williams. Now, if you know me, you know how much I love Mark Williams, but he gets a D+. Didn't play. I feel like when he played, he was good. I do, but there was a stretch, and this is going to be an issue for him, and I hope he realizes the issue here is when teams go 5 out, Mark doesn't quite have enough speed, lateral movement to be able to guard those lineups. And Mark is probably our second, third best player on the team and is really impactful on this team on defense and offense, in my opinion. But he needs to stay healthy, and that's why it's a D+. If he was healthy, if you're giving me a double-double, how am I gonna, averaging every night a double-double? That is pretty good. That's like a B. That's like a B+, but because you weren't able to stay healthy, I can't help it. Now, the one you've been all waiting for, I'm sure, LaMelo Ball. C-. Health at LaMelo Ball probably would have had an A, because he was electric in November, and I feel like that's the norm for LaMelo Ball. I feel like LaMelo Ball can do that throughout an entire year, but he has to stay healthy. He just has to stay healthy, man. He really does. He really does. Badly. And this is going to be an important year for him. I don't care. If we make the play-in and playoffs, and this is kind of looking big picture, it's not really about making a play-in. What I want to watch is I want to watch what Pacers fans watched. I want to watch what Magic fans watched. Some of these young teams, Thunders, the Thunder team, the year before this year. All those teams, were they winning a bunch of games? No. They struggled before they made the playoffs this season. But most of their core was on the court. And so being able to watch that growth together, our core young pieces together, that's what I'm excited to watch. And I'm hoping we're able to see that this season, because this is going to be a huge year for LaMelo, because then you're going to have to get into some conversations that I just do not want to get into, because I don't like the idea of even considering them. So hopefully he stays healthy, and we don't have to talk about those conversations, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I have everything buzzed here. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share the video with a friend. Tell me how I did. How did I do? Good, bad? Am I dumb? Am I smart? Do you disagree? Let's have a conversation in the comments down below. I'm everything buzzed here. I'm out. Peace, guys.